Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning into today's video. We have more PlayStation news, rumours and leaks to go over. Please hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing if you enjoyed today's video. The PS5 Pro continues to be the topic of debate, even though the vast majority of people who have picked it up and played with it are satisfied with how it's performing. Some people commenting recently about this being a big generational gap, big generational leap, not being able to tell the difference from various other things. What you have to remember is that this is the first wave of games that are coming to the PS5 Pro, and these games right now look and play better on the Pro. That is fact, simple fact. As time goes on, developers have had time to build games from the ground up for the PS5, then we'll see some bigger differences, bigger margins between the base PS5 and the PS5 Pro. For some people, I don't really believe they know what they were purchasing when they picked up the PS5 Pro. It's an enthusiast's console. It's aimed at the core gamer, someone who appreciates that smoother gameplay, or a console offering stability, or an ecosystem where you can enjoy 4K gaming with frame rates which range anywhere from 30 up to 120 FPS depending on whether you have VRR switched on. Those people who went into the Pro experience with this in mind are generally very satisfied with what they're seeing, as I am. Stunning visuals and great games. But for those who want to see some real differences on the Pro compared with the base PS5, go and play games like Horizon Forbidden West or Horizon Zero Dawn, Final Fantasy Rebirth, Gran Turismo 7, God of War Ragnarok, Demon's Souls, The Last of Us 1 and The Last of Us Part 2. There are others out there, but of course, if you really want to see the difference, go and play these games, see what the PS5 Pro is capable of. When Sony first unveiled the PS5 Pro, expectations were very high, with anticipation over what this upgraded console will actually be able to deliver. And Sony knew exactly how to showcase the potential, and that was by pairing it with a remastered version, one of the most critically acclaimed titles in recent years, and that is The Last of Us Part 2. Like it or loathe it, it is absolutely stunning. The decision to spotlight the game on the PS5 Pro's reveal was an interesting one. For many, it seemed like an obvious choice, but it also posed a curious challenge. Could the game, already visually stunning on both the PS4 and the PS5, truly showcase the PS5 Pro's enhanced capabilities? On the surface, The Last of Us 2 didn't appear to need a remaster. The original PS4 version pushed the console to its limits, delivering absolutely breathtaking graphics. And when the PS5 came along, an enhanced edition followed, elevating the visuals even further with smoother frame rates and faster loading time. So when Sony announced the Pro updates for The Last of Us Part 2, many fans were wondering, what was it even necessary? Was it merely a marketing move to kind of flaunt the new hardware? As it turns out, the remastered edition on the PS5 Pro offers more than just a superficial upgrade. It's not about sweeping changes or overhauls, but it's rather the subtle enhancements that breathe new life into an already amazing game. And on the PS5 Pro, the detail is unbelievable. You will notice things like the sunlight filtering through the trees, casting realistic shadows. You will see the minute details on Joel's hand, the individual freckles on Ellie's face, and even the tiny snowflakes that cling onto Dina's coat. These are the details you might not have noticed before, but now stand out with remarkable clarity on the PS5 Pro. The PS5 Pro introduces a new Pro mode, specifically tailored for titles like The Last of Us 2 Remastered. This mode isn't just about pushing pixels, it's about creating an experience where performance and graphics coexist harmoniously. The game runs at a native 1440p resolution, which is then upscaled to 4K using PSSR. And if you haven't played the PS5 Pro, trust me, you won't notice a difference. It's essentially 4K 60 FPS with ray tracing elements, thanks to the PSSR technology that Sony have developed. The PSSR uses AI-driven upscaling, which enhances the image clarity without sacrificing the frame rate, maintaining a very steady 60 FPS throughout the game. In previous games, players often had to choose between a performance mode, favoring smoother gameplay at the cost of lower resolution, and a graphics mode which prioritized visual fidelity but could suffer from frame rate dips. So with the PS5 Pro, this compromise is a thing of the past. The remastered edition combines the best of both worlds, offering stunning visuals and fluid, responsive gameplay. During intense combat sequences, the game's frame rate remains solid, ensuring seamless experience that allows players to fully immerse themselves within the story without any distraction. For those familiar with The Last of Us Part 2, the upgrade might not be immediately noticeable at first glance. The game already looked fantastic on the standard base PS5, so what could the PS5 Pro possibly add? The answer lies in the finer details. It's the small touches that make the remaster shine. Textures are more refined, lighting effects are more realistic, and the environments feel richer and more alive. The improved resolution brings out the subtle elements, making everything from foliage swaying in the wind to the expressions of the characters' faces more pronounced and lifelike. As players work their way through the game's emotionally charged story, these visual enhancements add another layer of depth. The realistic depiction of character emotions conveyed through the tiniest of facial movements heightens the storytelling experience. It's as if the PS5 Pro has given the game a fresh coat of paint, making every scene feel vibrant and immersive in a way that even the original remaster couldn't quite achieve. The most exciting aspect of The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered on the PS5 Pro isn't just what it accomplishes now, what it hints at for the future of games on the PlayStation ecosystem. The remastered edition is essentially a rework of a PS4 game, albeit in an incredibly sophisticated way. Imagine what developers could achieve when they create a game designed specifically for the PS5, with full capabilities of the PS5 Pro in mind from the start. If Naughty Dog can bring this level of polish to a remastered title, what kind of visual and performance breakthroughs will we see in future releases? It's an interesting thought for gamers and a promising glimpse into the potential of the PS5 Pro. The hardware has proven it can handle the demands of visually intensive games without sacrificing performance. The idea of a future Naughty Dog title or other PlayStation first-party studio titles built from the ground up for the PS5 that leverages the power of the PS5 Pro is enough to justify the purchase of the Pro for many people, me included. And as time goes on, as we get into 2025 and 2026 and beyond and start to see games that have been built specifically for that console generation, for the PS5, and with Pro enhancements developed and baked into the game, and we really are going to start to see some big differences, not just in visuals or frame rates, but in terms of how many enemies or NPCs are we going to see on the screen, large crowded areas, and what that's going to be in the future on the PS5 Pro, how that's going to look, and how you're going to be able to interact with that. Think about GTA 6. You know, those big city scenes. Imagine the heavy lifting the PS5 Pro is going to be able to do. The PS5 Pro is going to be able to handle so much more versus the other consoles in the marketplace. So let me know what games you're playing right now. What have you tried playing on the PS5 Pro so far? What's impressed you and what's not impressed you? Like I said, it's an enthusiast console, okay? It's a tech enthusiast console. It's early adopters who are going to be going out there and playing this. If you've got a base PS5 Pro, you can still play all the games in and they're going to look and play really well. But if you want them to look and run better, then the PS5 Pro's for you. Anyway, let's move on. One studio that has become a focal point of speculation over the past couple of years is Bluepoint Games, a PlayStation-owned developer renowned for its masterful remakes. We keep hearing of a Bloodborne 2 or a Bloodborne remake, and these rumours just won't go away. And for a long time, it's been associated with Bluepoint Games because they are the studio historically that have done remasters and remakes. And with standout titles like Demon's Souls and Shadow of the Colossus behind them, Bluepoint's carved out this reputation for breathing new life into fantastic, beloved classics. So it's quite plausible to think that they could actually be working on a Bloodborne remaster or Bloodborne 2, right? However, I don't want to be the one to burst anyone's bubble, but the studio's next project seems to be a departure from its usual path of remakes and remasters, and Bluepoint have confirmed that they are working on an original IP of their own. Therefore, that closes down and shuts down the Bloodborne rumours, well, specifically from Bluepoint Games. So what could they be working on? According to the latest insider reports, Bluepoint is diving into uncharted waters, crafting a brand new original game, a move that marks an exciting new chapter for the developer and PlayStation fans. Speculation around Bluepoint's next game has been bubbling for quite some time, but concrete details have been very difficult to get hold of. Unlike its previous projects, which were widely known to be remakes or reimaginings, the studio's current endeavours are a tightly kept secret. Hints of this shift first emerged when Bluepoint themselves confirmed they are working on something original. The vague announcement has been further clarified by industry insider Jeff Grubb, who revealed in a recent episode of Game Mess Mornings that the studio's new project is indeed a fresh IP. With the exception of their early PS3 title Blast Factor, a twin-stick shooter that debuted in 2006, Bluepoint has not worked on any original IP creation themselves. Instead, they focused on elevating classic titles to meet modern standards. Think Demon's Souls, right? Think that type of game. The idea of Bluepoint taking on an entirely new universe is exciting, is thrilling, and yet it brings with it an air of uncertainty too. Can the studio, known for remastering and perfecting established worlds, successfully pivot and change to building one from scratch. It's a daunting task, but one that could pay off in spades if they bring the same level of polish and creativity to their new project. The timing of this also aligns well with Sony's broader strategy for its PlayStation ecosystem, because recently Sony made a bold pledge, and this is from Hiroki Totoki, to release more major new games every year, aiming to keep the PlayStation 5's lineup fresh and engaging. These are AAA, single-player, blockbuster games. So the current consoles generation has seen Sony's first-party studios working tirelessly behind the scenes on several unannounced projects. And believe me, they have lots of new games, new IPs. Some of these games have been in development for years. With a growing number of games being crafted in secrecy, there's an increasing anticipation amongst gamers about what's to come next. Given Bluepoint's track record and the hype surrounding its mysterious new IP, it seems like their project could be one of the marquee titles to drop in the near future. If Sony is planning to unveil a series of major exclusives to get fans excited, Bluepoint's new game could be a pivotal part of that strategy, serving as a flagship title that showcases the creative potential of the PS5. And while no one outside of Sony really knows what Bluepoint are working on, the mere concept of an original game from Bluepoint Games has sparked some rumours and speculation. What kind of world will the studio create? Will it be a sprawling open world RPG, or something designed around action and adventure, or something completely different? Given their previous work with dark, atmospheric games like Demon's Souls, there's a possibility that the new IP could lean into a similar moody aesthetic. On the other hand, it could be an opportunity for the studio to break free from its comfort zone and try something new, something completely different. The creative freedom of building a game from the ground up allows them to experiment with new gameplay mechanics, storytelling techniques, and visual styles that we haven't seen from them before. It's a chance for them to redefine their identity and prove that they can do more than just remake existing games. They can invent new ones that stand shoulder to shoulder with the best original titles across the industry. Jeff Grubb hinted that whatever Bluepoint Games are working on might be revealed soon, and the word soon within the gaming industry is notoriously vague. It could mean anything from a surprise announcement at the next big gaming event like the Game Awards happening in a few weeks' time, to a full reveal scheduled for next year, most likely at the PlayStation Showcase, probably around May sometime in 2025. For now, fans will have to rely on speculation and rumours and the occasional insider tip to piece together what Bluepoint Games might be up to. So, what are Bluepoint Games up to? Now, as 2024 draws to a close, the PSVR2 is about to get some freaking amazing games. See, the problem isn't the hardware. The hardware's fantastic. The PSVR2 is an impressive piece of kit. The issue has always been a lack of killer apps. It's what's kept people away from this taking off really to another level. And games like Resident Evil gave PSVR2 fans a glimpse of what the tech can really do and how immersive games can be when they're built for the VR, or they support VR. But that's all changing as we head into what looks like the most promising quarter for the PSVR2 for quite some time, with a lineup of 4 AAA games set to breathe new life into the platform. So we're starting off with Metro Awakening, which is a post-apocalyptic adventure that takes players back into the ruins of Moscow. And while the game isn't a PlayStation exclusive, its immersive environment feels tailor-made for the PSVR2. The familiar tension of navigating crumbling subway tunnels filled with danger is amplified in VR, making every shadow feel like a potential threat. Next up is Behemoth, a title that has been teased for what feels like a very long time. Developed by Skydance Interactive, the team behind the acclaimed The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, Behemoth promises a visceral action-adventure experience set in the world populated by colossal, mythical beasts. The game combines brutal melee combat with stunning visuals. It's been a flagship title for the PSVR2 in promotional material, and it's now finally set to launch on December the 5th, 2024. Whether that lives up to the hype remains to be seen, but if it does, it could be a system seller that the PSVR2 desperately needs. Just 2 weeks later, another iconic franchise makes its way to the headset. With Alien Rogue Incursion, this game marks a significant milestone as the first officially licensed Alien game built specifically for the VR. Players will find themselves in a familiar but terrifying setting, stalked by relentless xenomorphs in a dark, atmospheric environment. The promise of being hunted by these iconic creatures in virtual reality has the potential to deliver a deeply unsettling, immersive experience that could be a must-play for horror fans. Rounding out this strong lineup is Hitman World of Assassination, marking its debut for the PSVR2. While earlier attempts at bringing the Hitman series to VR were met with mixed reviews, this latest iteration aims to correct past mistakes. With 21 levels offering various assassination scenarios, players can indulge in creative, methodical gameplay. Whether you prefer a stealthy approach or a more chaotic one, the game promises endless replayability and the chance to live out the ultimate assassin fantasy in VR. Together, these 4 titles represent the most compelling reason yet to dust off the PSVR2. So, PSVR2 gamers, let me know your thoughts about these 4 games coming to the headset. Metro Awakening, Behemoth, Alien Incursion and Hitman. They look excellent in the trailers and the gameplay that I've seen playing. Who's looking forward to them and what are you looking forward to getting most? Alright guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below about the topics we've discussed today. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and I'll catch you on the next video.